Um, I've been wondering how like who came up with the ideal numbers for the pH, like how where we're supposed to be, because I didn't know. I read online somewhere about some Carey Reams, yeah, and
Uh-huh.
what I was reading was kind of like, I don't know, it was a little scary to me to read that, and I was just wondering what you thought about him. And it said something about like he had divine revelation, and I don't know, that just kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So Kerry Reams was an agricultural specialist.
Okay.
So what that means is he made farmers yield crops.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if you do you garden?
A little bit, not a lot.
Okay. So gardening and the chemistry are one and the same.
Uh-huh.
So all it is, it has to do with the the brixing of the soil has to do with the mineral content and the absorbability of the soil.
Uh-huh.
The pH has to do with the pH balance, parts of hydrogen in the soil.
Okay.
Electrolytes has to do with the electrode base of the soil. Albumin is the fermentation rate of the soil, and ureas, which is ammonia nitrate and nitrogen nitrate, have to do with the productivity of the albumin and also the rate of decomp.
Okay.
Okay, so that all those numbers are from Kerry Reed or Kerry Reams.
Uh-huh.
So Kerry Reams was first a medical doctor. Actually, no, first an agricultural specialist. Then he went into as a medical doctor. He got his doctorate.
Okay.
But he treated humans no different than he treated the soil, because we are made up of the same stuff.
Okay. Okay. So where I was reading online something about the numbers, divine revelation, that's probably just not true.
That's not true at all.
Okay. Do you have
All
like
the
a book?
numbers
Do you
that
have a
he came
book
up
on
with
this guy or
off
something?
of so many different tests he ran.
Oh.
So there is no such thing as perfect numbers.
Uh-huh.
Now there is like different stages of. Think of it like when you're yielding tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
There's different stages in where the soil can actually yield the highest tomato. There's different stages of where it can yield the biggest plant. And there's different stages of where you can get a sweet tomato, a bitter tomato, a seedless tomato, a seeded tomato, so on and so forth.
Oh, okay.
So it's in the same exact concept, except you're using fluid. So, I can do the exact same test on soil to deter what is better used farming.
Uh-huh. So that's how it gets to be based on science. It's through like what you're saying.
It is science, yes.
Okay. And then where I was reading, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but the iridology, where it said,
Iridology,
yeah, like how it hasn't been proven like through science. Is that true? Like I read
that
about.
That is true.
And
they use it. They use it actually quite a bit.
Uh-huh. Do you use it?
It's never proven.
And you use it?
Yeah, I've used iridology.
Oh. Okay.
Not the crazy iridology, but
okay.
more towards genetic ionization and so on and so forth.
Oh, okay. So you said you were going to give us like a little test, or like an experiment to do
yes.
So we can kind of see what you're talking about a little bit.
A little bit. What does your husband do?
Brian, he's right here.
What is Brian? Brian, what do you do?
You mean like for a living?
Yeah.
I fix computers and I do accounting work and design websites mainly.
Okay, so when you fix computers, is it more like structural of the computer, or is it more like software?
It's both. I
Okay.
do both.
So he's probably going to understand what I'm going to talk about a little bit. I'm going to try to knock it down to like using very simple terms.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to go diluted to where you're. I'm not treating you like an idiot. I promise.
Okay.
You got to get a baseline.
Okay.
Okay. So what I first do is I tell people, like, do you understand electricity? So I ask, do you understand how you get radio in your car?
I mean, kind of the basics of electricity and the science behind it. I don't understand it too well.
Okay. So, and then the other thing I talk about is, do you understand switches?
Twitches.
How a switch works.
Oh, switch.
Like a light switch. You flip it on for on and off for off.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the basic principles, but the electricity behind it, like how the electricity moves
Okay.
and the currents, that stuff I'm a little fuzzy on.
So a lot of naturopaths and osteopaths and all those really fun people, they talk about energy. Okay, so you can get way down the rabbit hole on that. Main concept of energy, even back in Chinese medicine, all dating back, I mean, way back, way when, it all talks about electrical flow of the human body, which is referred to yin and yang.
Okay.
So that's your electrical flow. You have negative and positive ions inside our body.
Okay.
Okay, so that is how they talk about yin and yang, is negative and positive electrodes, the electrical pathways of the human body.
Okay.
Okay, so the electricity in the human body has been categorized between yin and yang, that's in Chinese medicine, and then we go into Western or iridology, Western medicine, and that is more towards your electrical flow rate, your energy cycling, or your EMF, so your electromagnetic field.
Okay.
Okay, all those are the exact same word.
Okay.
Energy, so if someone says your energetics, your energy, all that has to refer to is your electrical flow.
Okay.
Okay. Our body is made up of carbon-based molecules and water and all the good fun stuff, but how it works is by electricity.
Okay.
Okay. So when I talk about energy, or if I use energy, if I use yin and yang, if I use electricity, I'm all talking about the exact same thing.
Okay.
Okay, so that is where I kind of start with the basis.
Got it.
Okay, so muscle testing is testing the electrical flow.
Okay, so it's along the same lines as energy testing, right?
Energy testing, pylori testing, frequency testing, all those are the exact same thing.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're testing a circuit board to find out what resistor or whatever is broke, you can test with current flow.
Right.
The same way that the human body can test itself with current flow.
Okay. Okay, I'm following you. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I do is you can test any muscle in the human body. A muscle is a switch. It either has one pole, which is a flow rate, or it has another pole, which is not a flow rate.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So a muscle either is going to move or not move.
Okay.
So it is all our muscles in our body is switches, on, off. There is no medium, there is no hormonal link, there's no change in anything. It is all electrical.
Okay.
Okay. So think of it no different as a voltmeter or as a on and off switch.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to go into kinesiology, and we're going to go into BHA. So these are all different techniques, different terms, and different ways of muscle testing. So if you want to know a lot about the backing or the background on it, there is lots of different modalities, and it goes from lots of different places.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just going to talk about it really simply put, because I know how to do almost every single one.
Okay.
We're just going to talk about pretty much the kinetic movement of muscle testing.
Okay.
Okay. And then I will then go back, so if you have questions about how I test and all that, then I'm going to go back into talk about certain things
Okay.
like that.
Got it.
Okay, so there is some laws when it comes to muscle response testing, because your brain is an electrical modem. It sends out, neurological speaking, it sends out impulses of electricity to move a finger. It sends out electrical impulses to move your arm. It sends out electrical impulses that you breathe oxygen in and out.
Okay, and
So forth.
that kind of ties into the nervous system, the neurons, and all that
Yes,
stuff.
the nervous system, every system in the human body is actually ran by electricity.
Got it.
So, there is laws of muscle response testing. I'm going to just kind of talk to you about it a little bit.
Okay.
Number one, and these are the laws that was taught to me and pretty much in everything. So you cannot test the future.
Okay.
Okay. So muscle response testing, you cannot test something that is unknown.
Okay.
Okay. So you can't play God, because there's no such thing as the future when it comes to muscle response testing.
Okay.
Only test the here and now.
Got it.
Okay. You cannot test for personal gain. So you cannot test for betting. You cannot test for finding out an income to actually make you have a better gain, because your electricity will defer.
Okay.
It will not work.
Okay.
Okay. You cannot test when you're emotionally involved.
Okay.
So if your brain is making the decisions, you cannot test it properly.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay. And you can only get the answers, so this is the last law, you can only get the answers to the questions you ask, no more. So it's either yes or no. There is no maybe, there's no some. So it's all on how you word certain things.
Okay.
Okay. So now that you know the laws, I'm going to talk about muscle response testing a little bit and go from there.
But how
Okay.
do you do it from miles away? You know, like with Annie Mae, that's where I'm like kind of confused.
So that I'm going to get into that.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So how I test, what I test here, I'll explain it to you later.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So when it comes to the energy of the body, the electricity process, we have exactly thousands upon thousands, actually more like trillions of neurological systems that are affected on a cellular level and a tissue level every second.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're not testing the electrical flow rate. We're not testing the neurological system as much. We're just testing our muscle structure.
Okay.
So there is ways of testing the electron base, which is a lie detector.
Okay.
Okay, that is how a lie detector came into play. Is it checks your electrical impulses, your breathing, your heart rate, everything that we cannot control.
Okay.
Okay, so that is where a lie detector is no different than a muscle response test.
Okay. Cool.
It gives you a yes, a false, or a true, or a yes, or a no. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so there is lots and lots of different ways of testing, because you can use every muscle in the body.
Okay.
Okay, so when I give people certain things to do or to check, it's really hard to do over the phone, but I'm going to try my best.
Okay.
It's a lot better if you were here and just sit there and talk and
Sure.
show you different techniques.
Okay.
So one of the most famous, and it was by Dr. George Goodhart, in which he was a or chiropractor in 1964. He actually developed more of the techniques towards diagnostic.
Okay.
Okay. So, and this is like really recent. So he kind of coined the phrase of muscle response testing.
Okay.
But it dates back to ancient Chinese and acupuncture. I mean, they've used pulse testing and diagnostic testing of muscle testing since ancient Chinese.
Okay.
Okay. So when it was very categorized. So let's talk. We're going to just talk about the sway test. So what it is you stand up, you put your feet pretty much the same exact distance as your shoulders. So either one of you or one of you at a time, it does not matter.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. So you stand up and you put your feet about, the same distance as your shoulders, and you stand comfortably erect, so stand up straight.
Okay, I'm doing that.
And then what I want you to do is I want you to clear your mind. So this is the hardest part when it comes to muscle testing, because your brain wants to control your switch.
Okay, so just...
Okay, so you kind of just go blank. And the best way of doing it is you say the word. Okay, so all you have to do is say yes. So just say yes out loud.
Yes.
Now, you are going to move. You're going to pull a certain direction. It could go backwards, it could go forward, it could go to the right, it could go to the left.
Okay. You want me to move?
No. No, I just want you to stand up straight, and I want you to say yes.
Yes.
And you are going to move. Your body will go forward, backwards, right, or left.
Okay. And is she supposed to be observing which way she's going? Because I can kind of tell.
Well, no, she doesn't really need to.
Okay, you're observing.
No, you are.
Oh, I am. Okay.
I can't see her.
Yeah, well, that's what I don't know how
Okay.
this works, so I'm watching her, but okay.
Okay, which way does she go?
It looked like she's going forward.
Okay, so that means that your electricity flow is normal. People who go backwards, their electrical flow is usually cationic instead of anionic, which means that their electrons are spinning to the left instead of the right. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So she's anionic flow, which is normal.
Okay.
Okay. So now you stand up straight, and you cannot think about it. Remember, clear your mind. And then say no.
No.
Which way did you go?
She went to her right.
Okay, so your negative is slightly off. But not by bad. It's not by much at all.
Okay.
Because there's more towards right backwards.
Okay.
Okay, so now you found out that is your switch.
Okay.
That's called a sway test. Your
Am I
body
done?
actually will move a direction.
Okay. She wants to know if she's done.
Is she done?
Yeah, she wants to know if she's done. If she can sit back down, or if you have
Oh,
another
yeah, you
test.
can sit back down.
Okay. Okay. So just
Okay.
based on those
But-
responses, yes and no, you
What
can
did
tell.
that What did that mean? What did that mean to you?
To me,
Yeah, or what does that mean?
well, you just muscle tested.
Oh.
People who cannot move, their electrical is not moving, so they can't test.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so Brian, now you stand up.
Okay, I'm up.
All right, then you put your feet about shoulder width apart. You kind of stand there, you can close your eyes, you can not close your eyes. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what direction you're standing. It has
Okay.
no.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Then you just say yes out loud. Kind of
Yes.
clear your mind. Say yes,
Yes.
and you'll feel yourself pulling a direction.
Forward.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you kind of stand back straight, kind of relax a little bit, shoulder width apart, and then you say no.
No. Backwards. I can feel
There
it.
you go.
Backwards.
Wow, that is
yeah.
so cool.
How quick did you move? Was
Real-
it like
really
a millisecond? Was
really
it half
quick.
a second? Was it
I could feel it
Second.
really quick, like instantaneous almost.
perfect? So you can test a lot better, probably because you're around a lot more electricity than your wife.
Okay. Wow, that's kind of cool.
There you go. So now you understand That's the sway test.
Okay.
Okay. So if you were wanting, and we're going to get off topic just a little bit, but I'm going to go back to it, okay?
Okay.
So now you just got the yes and the no.
Okay.
So now we can test certain things. So like if you want, you can go to the fridge and grab produce or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you can test your body, and it all depends upon the question you ask, if it is, say like, is this beneficial for my body right now? It's either going to be a yes or a no.
So you have to stand there, like, clear your mind and hold on to the thing, and your body will move.
Yes.
Okay.
Huh.
And I teach people the sway test when they're in the grocery store.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
So,
And it's forward for yes and backwards for no would be the.
Well, everyone's different.
Okay.
Well, it should be forward yes, and it should be less than a millisecond of movement. So you should move before you even say the word yes out loud.
Okay. Okay.
Because as soon as your brain thought of yes, you should be moving.
Right, because it's firing the electricity right instantaneously. Okay.
So all we're doing is actually we're testing our major muscle of the body, and that's the hips.
Okay.
and then no is backwards?
It should be. Unless you're anionic, which Jenny is anionic, or cationic, sorry. Jenny is cationic.
Okay.
Her yes is backwards, her no is forward.
Okay.
So is my no right, going to the right, since I pulled to the right?
If you pull to the right, it shows that your hips are slightly out of place.
Oh, I would.
Electrical flow in your right hip is slightly congested.
So I need to go to the chiropractor.
Yes.
And that makes sense because she.
I do need to go to the chiropractor. I feel it.
There you go.
How cool is that?
So this is where we go to. You can take any scientific whatever and make it crazy.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain just the scientific behind it, and I'm going to explain about frequency.
Okay.
And you have to understand frequency in order to understand how I test.
Okay.
So frequency is, think of it, you're in the car, you have two dials. You have the volume, and you have the station.
Right.
Okay. So if you change the station to the news, and then you change it back to a musical station, then you change it to another station. Okay. That is frequency current. That is changing the abstract of what you're testing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Then you got the volume. That is the intensity, the hertz pattern, the amount of flow being pushed into that area.
Okay.
Okay. So the volume is your strength. It's going to be very, very strong. So that means that you ask the question, do you have any white sugar in your place?
I have.
Actually, no. Brian, do you have a gallon of milk?
Mostly.
Do you have, like, milk?
Yeah, we have milk. It's not a full gallon.
Yeah, it's not a full
Okay.
gallon.
So if you get a little tiny bit of milk, put it in a cup, and you put it to your body, and you ask, can my body handle this? This would be good for Brian because he's has a sensitivity towards mucus.
Okay, so you want him to go do that?
Yes.
Okay, go get some milk.
Just get milk in a cup?
A little tiny bit. You can grab the gallon. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'll just grab a cup.
He has to go inside. We came outside to talk so we could have it quiet.
Oh, I understand. So what this is going to show the intensity. So you have things that are very, very light. Say like when I was testing your daughter's ear, I had to go into it wasn't an extreme infection.
Okay.
Where it instantly was like, oh man, boom, yes. I had to kind of downgrade it, the volume. I had to kind of turn it down a little bit to where I can test
So
what
you
it
did
was.
you did that based on that picture that I sent months ago.
Correct.
Huh.
And I'll talk about that.
Okay, he's got the milk now.
I got my milk.
Okay, so you just asked, is this beneficial for my body?
Just out loud for...
Just out loud, just kind of clear your mind, stand up, feet shoulder width apart, and then you ask, is this going to benefit my body?
Is this going to benefit my body?
He went backwards right away.
Okay, what that means is that your volume was like, ah,
Oh,
Oh.
I love milk. That's terrible.
I know. So we always crave what we are addicted, or what kills us.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, so now we know what you can put the milk back so it doesn't spoil. Or
That's fine. We'll get it back in there in a little bit. It's okay. It's cold here
Okay.
right now.
well, how cold is it?
Out in Gregory's room, it's like 55.
It's not cold compared to what they have.
No, not compared to what you guys have. No. It's like summer. It's summer days here compared to what you guys have.
Okay, because it got really warm today. It was like 18 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, so now we got intensity. That has to do with the volume. The volume of how quick it moved, how strong it did. So some people can test something and they actually will almost fall over.
I did. I felt
Okay.
like if I hadn't stepped back, I would have fallen over.
That's so weird.
So now you can go get, if you want to, go get some cottage cheese if you have it, and test it. It would be a very slight. I mean, you would barely move backwards.
And
The reason why is because it's fermented cheese, and it's actually somewhat beneficial, but it still has dairy.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can kind of tell what foods are good for you and bad for you just based on this test.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's only at the time you're testing.
Okay.
What do you mean
Okay,
by
so
that? Only if
how
it's fermented?
long have you guys been together?
It'll be 18 years in September.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys have a really good. We're gonna talk now about the other button, the frequency. You guys have a really good frequency connection,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I'm going to explain it using some kind of a little bit of psychology. I'm going to explain it using electricity, and I'm going to explain it using how I test. So frequency is like if Brian's in the other side of in another town, and something happened to him, you would know. Something is off. Something's wrong. Something changed. Something, whatever.
Huh.
And the reason why is because your electrical bonds between each other.
Okay, and you hear about and see stuff like that in the movies sometimes.
Yeah, we all do it to certain degrees.
Okay.
Okay, so what that is frequency. Frequency can be ran across the globe. Think of it kind of like your XM radio. You have a transmitter. Depending upon how strong the transmitter is how far the frequency current goes.
Okay.
Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay, now there's only certain things on Earth that capture and holds frequency.
Okay.
Okay, now this is back to my testing. Okay, so your saliva holds frequency.
Okay.
That's why kissing is very intimate, is because it is a transmutation of frequency current, electrode current.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so I can do the same thing what I did on the Polaroid picture with a saliva sample.
Okay.
Okay, the other thing is your hair. Your hair holds frequency current.
Okay.
And they can do a test and actually see what you have consumed over the past 30 days just by hair follicle.
You're talking about consuming food, right?
Foods, drugs, different things like that.
Oh,
Huh.
wow. Okay.
And it's stacked inside your body frequently. Frequency. It's
Okay.
using current flow, and that's how they break it down.
Okay.
Okay, so frequency is held by your hair, by your saliva, and also by your skin. Your skin holds frequency current. So I don't have people give me skin samples. I don't have people cut hair. I mean, I use really simple stuff. So saliva, you have to use it on a, hold on one second, let me think. A heavy-duty card stock paper, like a really heavy-duty envelope.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be about a 3-inch sample, so I have them just put it in their mouth, get really salivary, suck on it, put it instantly into a gallon or a Ziploc bag, and then wrap it, and so on and so forth, so it does not get contaminated.
Okay.
Okay, so that will hold frequency for about 2 months, give or take.
Wow.
And you
Okay.
can tell what people have consumed and all that by that too?
Yes.
Oh, huh.
But I don't look at what people consumed. I just need to have the frequency current.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So frequency current is that radio station. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if you turn to your favorite radio station, or if you listen to radio, turn to your favorite radio station, that is the radio station.
Right.
Frequency current, Brian's frequency current is Brian.
Uh-huh.
Spring's frequency current is Spring.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So a Polaroid takes both negative and positive, is a negative and positive picture.
Okay.
Okay, so what that means is it actually does contain frequency.
Okay.
Okay, anything that holds just a positive does not. Anything that holds just a negative does not. So you cannot take a picture with anything else, and I cannot test it unless it's a Polaroid,
Okay.
because it holds frequency current.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So that's the science behind a Polaroid camera then.
Yes, that's how I can test with a Polaroid.
Wow. Neat. Okay.
So all I am testing is that person. So if I grab a saliva sample, I am testing that person. If I grab a Polaroid, I am testing that person.
Huh.
So your frequency current is just the radio station, okay?
Right.
And think of it just like that, as it changes every second, but you cannot see the future.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, so all I'm testing is that frequency current in that second.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now, do you have any questions about that right now?
So let me get this right. So the Polaroid camera captures that energy that you're talking about at that exact second, and so you're testing based on that second that the picture was taken.
Yes, it is taking that frequency.
Got it. Okay.
So
if you look at the picture, it's like if you send me a picture of Gideon, it's
Uh-huh.
Gideon, right?
Yes.
It's not a picture of a fox or a dog or a can of milk.
Right. That
It's
makes
a
sense.
picture of Gideon, so it's his frequency. Now, if you take a picture of your whole family, it's your whole family's frequency.
oh, so that's why you want an individual. But my thing is, she's sick now with that ear infection. How? So
It's her frequency.
it's her channel. Okay.
It's her. I'm trying to explain it using science
Right.
a little bit more.
Right.
It's her channel.
Right.
It's her radio station.
Okay.
Okay. So if you put into your computer a radio station, you don't get, when you put it in, you get to this present day second.
Right. Right. Yes.
Okay, so all it is just pretty much her radio station.
Right.
So her frequency current.
Huh. So
That is how I can test
when
it.
you look at that picture of her right now, you are tuning into the way she is right now.
Well, I have to touch it. I cannot just look at it.
Huh. And then something happens to you based on how she is right now.
So how you guys test is called a self-test.
Right.
That was a sway test.
Right.
Now, you can go... Now I'm going to have Spring grab the milk.
Okay.
And then ask the same question. Is this beneficial to my body?
Okay. Is this beneficial to my body?
Yeah, she went back quick.
Okay. So, let's pretend that it was.
Okay.
Okay, it was beneficial because you need dairy, you need lactose, and you're breaking it down. Okay, then if you grab Brian and you ask the same exact question, you'll go backwards. Why? That's because you're testing him, not you.
If I ask the question, is this good for Brian, then I would
No,
go back.
is this good for... Yes, is it good for Brian while touching him? You will go backwards
Oh.
instead of forward.
Okay, now that's because my
Because
energy
you're
is,
testing him, not you.
Huh.
and she's getting my energy. My energy's transferring to her, and she's going to get that response.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, that's neat. And that's what you were talking about, how energy can transfer, and you were talking about husband and wife and that kind of thing.
So on and so forth, yes.
Okay.
So right now I have Annie Mae, I have Luke, I have Gregory, I have Spring. I don't have Brian. So
Okay.
I can test every single one of them right now.
Huh.
And that's just by grabbing the picture and holding it in my hand and testing.
So what do you...
I use certain muscles that I have sensitized to different things.
So, I was going to ask some questions about me. Can you tell anything from me just by my channel?
Well, that's kind of not fair because I did do your urine sample.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. You know my
So
numbers.
I do know that you are doing better.
Okay.
So, but here we can, let's test. I'm not trying to prove something. I'm just going to, let's test how many vertebrae are out of place in your spine.
Okay.
Okay, so I grabbed your picture. I am testing, and I'm going to start right at the bottom. I'm going to start right at the coccyx. And that one is in place. Go up just a little bit to sciatic 2. Okay, so sciatic 1 is out of place. Now we're going to go to the lumbar. You have 3 vertebrae in the lumbar that is out of place. You have lumbar 5, 4, and 3. Now we're going to go up. The rest of your lumbar is good. Now we're going to go up to the thoracic. You have how many vertebrae out of place? You have 5 vertebrae out of place in the thoracic. So how I'm testing is I'm testing which vertebrae is it structurally in place.
Huh. Wow, and I know I've been telling Brian that I need to go to the chiropractor because I am out.
Okay. Now, is it affecting neurological flow? Yes. Is it affecting the left side? No. Is it affecting the right? Yes. And I'm testing that while I'm talking.
Huh.
Okay, so let me ask a question. So the energy that you're getting from her picture transfers to you.
It's just the frequency current.
Okay.
Just the frequency.
But that transfers to you, and that's how that energy from that Polaroid transfers to you, and that's how you can tell what's going on. But that was at the moment the Polaroid was taken.
Correct. And just like a hair sample or a saliva sample is at that moment.
Okay.
But what the cool part is this is where scientists cannot figure it out. And you know what? Honestly, as a scientist myself, I am very curious, but then again, we don't know everything yet.
Right.
I mean, if we were talking about a cell phone 30 years ago, we'd be kind of crazy.
Yes.
If we were talking about social media 60 years ago, we'd be hung.
Huh, yeah.
So we don't know why it changes, but it does. So your body kind of keeps up with whatever happens to you at the millisecond it happens.
And it's all science, and we, just because we didn't grow up that way knowing that or not understanding it, that's where we kind of have all these questions probably, or skeptical, or right.
Well, I'm a very skeptical person. Extremely.
Okay.
I mean, I thought EFT was humbo mumbo jumbo. It's emotional freedom technique.
Okay.
And then I read the science behind it. And now I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense because of what I know, what I learned.
Okay.
So it's not mumbo jumbo. It's just how someone brought it to my attention. And I was like, no, that's hocus pocus.
Okay.
But when I learned the science behind it, no, it's not. It's perfect. It makes perfectly good sense.
Okay, cool.
So, muscle response testing, you can go very, very deep details. And then just like you would if you're building a simple on and off switch for a light bulb versus an industrial-sized building wiring for phone. I mean, you can get down into the circuit board, so on and so forth.
So, back to the photograph and the 8 different spots where she's out. Now, is that something that you've had to learn how to do that specific test over time? How to figure that out?
Yeah, it took about 10 years to get good enough to where I can do it.
Okay.
But you're not. Think of it kind of like riding a bike. You did it really quickly. Brian did.
Right.
You got yes. You got no.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Then you go to, so that's just riding a bike. And then you go into professional bike riders that can do flips and crazy stuff. Now, can you do that tomorrow? No. No, you'll kill yourself.
Got it. Okay.
But it will take time and practice to get good enough to where you just go through the motions.
Where essentially you become versus someone who's trying something to becoming an expert at that.
Correct.
Okay, that makes complete sense. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Cool.
that kind of explained a little bit to me.
That was really neat. Thank you for explaining that. That was really cool.
Okay, good. So there's a lot more into it. This is kind of like, actually, I didn't really even dabble through the whole class. I just told you what I told someone that would start a class.
Yeah, but because Spring was telling me we sent in a picture of Annie Mae and he could tell that she has an ear infection. I'm thinking, how in the world can you tell that from a picture? And that
yeah, and then you read things online and you
don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Because you think demonic, divine revelation. I don't know, what to think of those things when you hear it, because that's the way we think. We think of it as being not scientific.
But then again, let's go back to 40 years ago, 50 years ago, or 60 years ago. If I told you about a cell phone 60 years ago, they would kill me. Why is that? Because they don't know. They would condemn me. They would stone me. They would think I'm a witch or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's no different.
Okay.
It's just we don't know.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you were going to say about that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, there's lots of things I could say.
But I just had questions about Annie Mae and Gideon and myself. Should I go ahead and ask those now?
Yep. Okay, so do you have the paper in front for Gideon?
Oh, no, I don't. Brian, can you run and get it? It's in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Just get the whole wad of papers.
Okay.
Brian's going to run and grab it, but I was going to just write notes.
Oh, that's fine.
I feel like I'm fighting a cold myself, and where I'm having trouble is trying to decide whether vitamin D or C, viral or,
So what's your pH? Urine?
It's more acidic. It's definitely...
Okay, so it's either going to be fungal or viral.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's more stemming from your bladder
Okay.
and your kidneys than anything else,
Okay.
just because of what I see in the chemistry.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you if you have an infection, because it looks like you do.
If I have
Like a bladder infection or a kidney infection or some kind of something going on.
I don't know if I have a bladder. I think I've only had one bladder infection for my entire life, where I took medication for it.
That's all I see for Gideon.
Oh. I don't know how to tell, really.
Sore throat?
I had a slight sore throat, but nothing terribly bad. Just mostly in the morning.
Sinus?
My sinuses are I'm just all plugged up right now. I feel
Your right eye kind of a little bit more pressure than your left? Your left eye more pressure? I'm not muscle testing you. I'm doing this.
I don't really feel... I haven't noticed pressure. My eyes have been more itchy lately, just kind of dry.
Which one's more itchy?
Probably the right eye, I guess.
Okay, so I'd say it's more right kidney.
Okay.
What about discomfort in... so if you go to the last rib on your right side in your back,
Uh-huh.
has that been more achy than any other spot in the body?
The last rib on my right side. It's very tender over on that whole side.
Uh-huh. Has that been kind of more achy the last couple days?
I've noticed my whole back being kind of out, but down that area right there, it's very it's all tender in that area.
Okay, so that's kidney. So I'm going to say it's more viral and it's affecting your kidney, which is affecting your fluid.
Oh. Okay. And what should I be doing for that?
Do you have any colloidal silver?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We just have that
You have-
gel silver.
Do you have... How much VSC do you have?
I have almost a full bottle.
And do you have any lilac plant tincture or 6X?
Yeah, I have that lilac kind.
Awesome. All right, so I want you to do 3 capsules of VSC
Okay.
in a coffee cup, so like 8 to 10 ounces of hot water,
Okay.
and then put about 30 drops of 6X tincture in that and kind of mix it together. You can add a little bit of honey to it if you want,
Okay.
because it doesn't taste the greatest, but it's not horrible.
Okay.
And then sip on it. Sip on it for about an hour at time, or an hour, or through the hour.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Just once a day?
Yes, just for today and tomorrow, and then see how it is doing.
Okay. Now I'm going to see how that pain is?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what were my numbers? Are they getting better?
So, actually looking pretty good. So do you have the charts before?
Yeah, I can't seem to find videos for some odd
So
reason.
your blue, your protein intake was 14, your protein outtake was 12, so your yellow was 12, your blue was 14.
Uh-huh.
Your carbohydrate, which has to do with total sugar, that was 3.2, so it shows that your enzymes are starting to work.
Oh, okay.
And then I did the albumin because I wanted to see what the floaty things were, and it was extremely high, so it shows me that you had an infection.
Oh, okay, which is what you're talking about to take those VSC for.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And should I be continuing to take the same things that I'm taking of the program, you think?
Yes, I would.
For a while? Okay.
Continue doing the vitamin D. I'm actually knocking Gideon off the vitamin D,
Okay.
so no more on that for a little bit,
Okay.
a week or two. And I did change his program up just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at his paper, his last chemistry he did, his his total sugars, so that's that first column, was 7.2.
Okay.
Now they are 4.0.
Okay.
So his pancreas is actually starting to break down and utilize the sugar, getting good alcohol flow to the brain. His enzyme count is starting to get a lot better.
Okay.
That is really good.
Okay.
His urine pH went really, really high, so it shows that his liver was producing a lot of ammonia.
What was the number on that?
8.0.
Oh, okay.
And it was higher than that. It was closer to 8.8.
Was that from the vitamin D?
No, this is actually completely different.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know, or has he been sick, coughing?
He's fought a little bit of a cold too, but he never really developed it very much at all. Too
Okay.
bad.
So there's more of a bacterial infection going on with him right now,
Uh-huh.
and it's not very high. It's just, I would say it's more in his throat, lungs, or sinus.
Oh, I would agree with that because he's been a little.
Maybe nasally
Yeah.
or congested.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. His saliva pH wasn't not applicable, so it wasn't there.
Okay.
Electrolyte previously was 24.8, now it's 21.6, so it did come down. Less stress on the muscles, less stress on the body,
Okay.
excess amount of electrolytes. His albumin rate, that was the cells being eliminated through the kidneys, it was at a 4M4+. It shows that there's an extremely high amount of cell debris, and his body was eliminating way too much. Now it is 4M2+, so it got cut down by half.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
it shows that there's still an infection, still an irritant in the body, but it's not as aggressive as it was previously.
Okay.
And then previously his protein intake and his protein outtake. The intake was 33, his outtake was 48, which brought the total number to 81, which means that there was an extreme amount of irritation with the digestion.
Yeah.
Now his protein intake is 18 and his protein outtake is 14.
Whoa.
So it went way down. That's good.
Yeah, really good.
But those numbers are supposed to be, what's the first number supposed to be?
It depends upon the person.
Oh.
Anywhere from 1.5 to 3.0.
Yeah. Okay. So you want him off of the vitamin D for a little while?
Yes. So I'm going to kind of just read off the program I wrote up for him.
Okay.
I don't know if he's been having any pain in his right side of his curve of his rib, front.
I don't know.
Abdominal.
He wouldn't tell me about that. He complained about his tummy.
Has he been really gassy?
There's been a couple times that he has been, I've noticed.
Okay. So the liver's producing too much ammonia right now, so I put him on gallbladder formula, 2 capsules. You can put it in hot water, or you can take the capsules with hot water and put a little bit of honey in it and do that at night with his largest meal.
Okay.
I'm going to keep him on the liquid chlorophyll. I'm just going to downgrade the dose to 3 times a day instead of more.
I kind of think that that's what we've been doing because I can't remember that 4th time.
Calcium gluconate, we're going to continue, but we're adding calcium lactate to cause more friction to the calciums.
Okay.
So this is going to help his clarity, his focus, his nerves the most.
Okay.
Is that friction. We're going to downgrade the dose of dolomite to twice a day instead of 3. And then I am adding Bifidobacillus fluorophorus, which is a friendly bacteria. I would do 2 capsules in it, just put it directly in his mouth at bedtime.
Okay.
And it tastes like sugar.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to tell you kind of what I see. His pancreatic function went from 50% down or up to 90%. So that showed that his process of sugars and insulin alcohol based the brain has probably increased by at least 32%.
Okay.
Okay, so what that shows me is his brain is actually not deficient of sugar and alcohol.
No.
So that's really good.
Okay, good.
Okay. His urine pH went from extremely low to extremely high, so I'm going to kind of read this one off. I'm not going to, judge on it right now.
Okay.
Just because I think it's more infection instead of true parts of hydrogen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. His electrolytes went down, which at that rate it went down about 10%, so his nerves are still there. He still has having nervous irritation, nervous fluttering, so on and so forth. So that is still present. We need to get it down below 18.
Okay.
And that will start helping a lot. And then the proteins, his muscles are not atrophying. So that means his body is not robbing mineralization or protein or fats from his body. It's actually starting to uptake.
Okay.
Okay, so what that tells me is his bodies will start to form better now. So he's going to start processing more.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yep.
Do you think that any of Gideon's issues could be because of the way he tolerated the vaccinations? Or that he didn't tolerate them well?
Give me another example. His mannerism?
Just the way that he is, yeah. And he, because he went through the seizures and...
Correct. So that is a yes and a no.
Okay.
Yes, they use it's not really the vaccine itself; it's what they use to carry it. That damaged the blood-brain barrier to make certain people have more sensitivity to what goes in and out of the blood-brain barrier.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, it does.
Okay.
And then at the same time, neurologically speaking, it doesn't because of what the chemistry looked like. If the chemistry was perfect and he still has the problems,
Uh-huh.
then I would say it's 100% vaccine. 100%.
Okay.
If the chemistry looked perfect, which it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
So we have to get that chemistry to look good in order for the body to work properly.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Which you've probably already noticed some improvement.
Yeah, well, like I was telling, I think you the last time, I have noticed the past 3 months, like I said about the potty, just him needing to go to the bathroom and him telling us, and the skin. He's always had eczema and dry, cracked, pink skin, and that's all. He's got like soft skin now. I mean, is that stuff that he's been taking helping with all of that?
Yes.
And his speech, like his sentences, he's starting to, like, the words are coming out now, and he's forming sentences that he didn't do before.
So here, let me give you an example. Okay, so when his pancreas function, so that's the first number, the total sugars, when it was functioning at 7.2, that number, the Brixometer,
yeah,
what it is there's too much sugar to the brain in the blood supply. Sugar ferments, turns to alcohol, okay? Now, let you drive a car, function, speak, all that, if you drink 3 to 4 bottles of liquor a day.
Oh, huh.
Okay, I get it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you
really
for
does.
saying that.
Okay, so that's what was happening to him, is his body was constantly feeding a high amount of alcohol to the brain to where it was buffered.
Huh.
Wow, okay.
And it wasn't absorbing the calcium, it wasn't absorbing a proper amount of oxygen, so his skin tone was suffering because he wasn't absorbing oxygen.
Huh. Okay.
So cause and effect.
Now, Gideon still has that scalp issue, and I told
Correct.
you that I've scraped it all out, but it's coming back. It's already it's flaky on the top again, and we after we wash his hair and everything, we rinse it very good, and it's growing back or whatever. What
Do you order from Nature Sunshine?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a product called Silver Shield Gel.
Okay, we got that.
I got that for my my gums.
Perfect. Well, how do you like the MicroBrite?
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not bleeding at all, and I'm noticing the gums actually look a little bit improved in the last week that I've been using it.
See, that's more magical stuff. They actually they bombard the powder with a frequency current.
Huh.
Oh wow. Okay.
They enrich the ions.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my teeth are not tender anymore like they used to be ever since I started using that a year ago.
Yeah, it works.
Huh. So put the Silver Shield on his scalp how many times a day?
Twice.
Okay.
How many times does he shower, actually?
Well, I usually give him a bath every night. Or
Okay,
once
so
every...
do it every night.
Okay. Okay.
So do it about an hour before bath.
Okay, that sounds good. Is there a way you can just email me what I need to, the program that you just did? I tried to write it all down, but I want to make sure I get the right thing for him.
Yep, I was going to email it to you.
Okay, and then Annie Mae, yesterday you mentioned something, you asked about her if she had fallen, and she actually has 2 times off of a little wall thing that we have in the backyard. Which,
Okay, so that's what was causing her jaw.
yeah, so,
Okay.
And then you said Histoblock 4 of them a couple times a day, and then...
So do you know how you need to go to the chiropractor?
Yes.
She needs to go to the chiropractor because her jaw and her ear are both the same.
Oh.
So the infection's down to 5 right now.
Okay.
So it's pretty low.
And it was, when I first called you about it, what was the number?
Let me grab the paper. $47.
Oh, okay. And if she got adjusted, then that could help her ear. And
Yes,
okay.
because the mandible and the eustachian tube are one and the same. They're really close together.
Okay. And the Histoblocks will help with fluid that's still there?
Correct.
Is
Well,
that
it should have actually already helped.
Yeah, it did this morning. Her nose isn't running at all, really.
Good. I would do it again.
Okay.
Prevent any more mucosa irritation. And I would just do the lysine, drop her off of the VSC.
Okay.
I would just do the lysine.
Okay. Just 2 a
And
day.
I would get her adjusted.
Okay. And then none of the... You mentioned something else yesterday, but does she seem like I don't really need to do that? Something for her intestines? Or I don't know. Maybe I wasn't listening right.
Small intestine detox.
Yeah.
There's marshmallow and pepsin.
Oh.
So marshmallow and pepsin she still does need because of her stomach. And that's it.
And that's for what exactly?
Mucus, if you have her open her mouth, there's more, so you would call it thrush, but I call it just a candida formation.
Oh, okay.
So that would help with that.
Marshmallow intestine. Okay.
Yeah, marshmallow and pepsin, and that's what's in the product called Small Intestine Detox, and it's by Nature Sunshine.
Oh, okay. Small intestine detox. Okay. Okay. Brian has a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So you and I talked like I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was having this itchiness, kind of felt like I'd roll in the grass, and you gave me the fungal detox stuff, and that really didn't seem to do anything. It would kind of come and go and come and go, and so I was trying to think, gosh, what am I, what's going on? And so, not really knowing much about any of this, I realized I wasn't taking my whole regimen correctly. I wasn't taking the amount of Histoblocks, so I decided to take everything regimen, and as soon as I did that, it instantaneously, like within 24 to 48 hours.
It's probably the Histoblock, I bet.
That was what I was going to ask.
So pretty much the itching was between the shoulders, on the rotator cuff, on the front arm, on the rib cage. So it'd be the lateral rib cage.
Yes, and every once in a while I'd notice it on my...
from the spine.
Yeah, and every once in a while I would notice it on my legs a little bit, on my face a little bit.
So the legs, it would be the outside or the inside?
I would guess the
outside.
outside. I'm not remembering, but I would guess the outside.
Okay, because if it is the inside, it's... so the outside, yeah, all that is related to the liver bile, so that the chemistry that I did a while ago, it has to do with how the liver is filtering, so it increased the amount of mast cells, which created higher histidine count, which created the skin itch.
Okay, now what were you said something about if it was the inside, it would be something different?
Yeah.
Okay. So, would that have, because when you...
So if it was the inside, I would ask about your erections, I would ask about libido, I would ask about different things like that.
Okay. Now, because now the Histoblocks, see, I never understood why all of a sudden the Histoblocks were prescribed. I just didn't. But then I took it, and then I kind of tapered off because I felt like we were using a lot of it and having to buy more, so I kind of stopped. And then I wondered if was that related to what started happening?
Yes.
Okay.
So Histoblock is, think of it kind of like Benadryl.
Yeah.
It's an antihistamine, but instead of doing what Benadryl does, Benadryl causes the liver to congest. Histoblock causes the liver to purge.
Okay.
So when our liver is congested, it increases higher amount of mast cells.
Okay.
So that's why if you take Benadryl, you have to constantly take Benadryl.
Okay.
If you take Histoblock, you can take it once, twice, 3 times, and it's gone for a couple days, and then it will start coming back if the liver gets congested again.
Okay. Okay, well, so I don't even know if I should take that detox stuff anymore because the Histoblock seemed to correct it.
How is your toenails and fingernails looking?
What do you mean?
They look fine.
Are they looking shinier? Are they looking more dense? Are they...
I honestly don't ever really...
They look kind of shiny to me.
What about hangnails? Are they gone?
Oh, hangnails. He has a little tiny one right there.
But a lot better than they were.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you can cut off the yeast fungal.
Okay.
If you start noticing there's a lot more hangnails, I would get back on it just because it's going to prevent you from getting a higher yeast infection.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Okay.
And should I send in anything? I think it's been maybe since November since these other guys did it, or October or something.
So I'd probably like towards the end of March or April.
Okay, cool.
All right. I think I got all my questions answered.
Okay. So any question about muscle testing that I kind of missed? You're going to think of?
I'll probably end up thinking of something sometime.
Okay.
But I think you kind of explained it pretty easy to understand.
So a really good idea, don't get online.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I can give you both. I can give you the devil's advocate on both of it.
Okay.
If you really want to. If I don't know about it, then I will tell you I don't know.
Do you mind questions? Like if people had a question for you and they're interested in looking into going this route or whatever, if people called and asked you things?
So the biggest thing is, no, I do not have problems with questions. The only time I get kind of flustered is if they're the same question over and over.
Okay.
That's the only time I'd probably get flustered, and I tell people that every time I talk to them.
Okay.
If it's the same question, I'll be like, I already told you that, and write it down. And then the next time if they say it, I'm like, did you look at your notes?
Okay.
And so on and so forth. But most of the time, if you kind of keep stacking on the same question and in a different mannerism, I don't mind because you're just wanting more information about the same thing.
Trying to figure it out. Okay.
Yeah. But the biggest thing I tell people is you kind of have to forget what you are taught.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're taught that milk is good for you. You're taught that so on and so forth.
Yeah. I think that's
Okay,
where
so
they're learning.
when I explain certain things, I am only talking about your situation. I'm not talking about everyone else's.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I still have not on the program, like I can honestly say that I have not done 3 days with no
Meat.
Yeah, like
So-
not just meat, but you said like animal products. So I'm like,
What I want you to look at is do you have fingernail polish on?
nope, I don't wear that. I have toenail polish on.
Okay, so look at your fingernails.
Okay.
So look at your thumb and look at your moon. So the moon is the white crevice that is separation, usually a third or a fourth of the nail.
Oh yeah.
Just on your thumbs.
Well, on my right thumb, I can't really see that.
Okay. Now look at your fingers.
Okay.
You should have a moon that is all the way to the pinky. You should have moons on every single finger.
I don't. You mean the little white part at the bottom part of your?
So look at Brian.
I only have it on my left thumb.
Okay. Look at Brian.
Oh wow, he's big ones.
Okay. His
Oh,
circulation's good.
Oh
His-
wow.
His circulation's not horrible. So when you start doing the no meat and you start with the natozymes and start decongesting, that is going to start increasing. Your moons will appear.
And what's that good for? Circulation, you said?
Well, your body's metabolism is off of circulation.
Oh.
So weight fluctuation, how your body utilizes minerals, everything is off of that.
Huh. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I will try it again.
There you go.
Okay. I think that's good. I'm gonna get on this with the kids and see. I don't have any other questions right now that I can think of.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it a lot. Really do.
Oh, yes. And start practicing it, the sway test.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going.
Oh.
Yeah, that was cool.
The two questions the three big things I teach is how accurate you are.
Uh-huh.
So you can test your accuracy by testing, like, if you understand accuracy. How accurate am I testing? Am I testing at 50%, 60%, 80%? And then you have to kind of come up with it. If you're at 80%, you have to at least get 8 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I only like testing, or the fluctuation of testing, when I'm between 95 and 100%.
Okay, 95 and 100% of.
And you can use stimulants, anything that will increase your norepinephrine, which is your electrical flow,
Okay.
to get a higher test.
Okay.
So how accurate are you? So if you're 50%, just flip a coin.
Right. So
Does that make
okay,
sense?
I'm a little confused. So the 95 to 100%, what are you talking about?
How accurate you're testing.
Okay. And how do I know what percentage I am?
You have to ask the question.
Okay. And so when I ask the question,
Most people that do sway tests, so that's the one that you're standing and yes is yes, no is no.
Right.
They don't have to test accuracy because they're just asking yes and no.
okay.
When you get into like, is this food beneficial for me? Is this going to harm me in any way? How much nutrient values in this food? Is it at this percent, this percent, this percent, this percent? That is when you have to know how accurate you are.
Oh. So if we're just asking if this milk is good for my body, those kind of
Yeah,
questions.
if you want to test that, like every food group that you go out shopping for, is this beneficial for my body? It's going to be a yes or a no.
Right.
But most of that stuff we kind of already know, common sense wise. I mean, pretty much.
Actually, some of the, you'll be shocked.
Really?
You'll be absolutely shocked, actually,
okay.
because your body knows more than you do.
Okay.
That's the cool part.
Huh.
Okay.
All
As
right.
soon as it touches it, it already knows.
Wow. Based on the energy you're talking about, right?
Based on electricity, yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
You good?
Yep, I think I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
You have a great day,
Okay.
You too.
and I will have that email to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
Appreciate
thanks.
that.
All right.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.